We saw that in 2020 or 1921. That was a 19-year, 50% retracement. We saw another one in 68. That was only 4 years, but that was 21, approximately 21. Speaking of proximities here, or approximate values. And then, of course, in 81, we broke below that 2-year EMA, and that was for 12 years and went down 60+%.
Yeah.
And we're not there yet, but with today's calculations that I'm using, a 5% drop in Saskatchewan land values suggests that further downside is in the works.
Yeah, very interesting. And I guess I look at, because we're involved with, listing and selling farmland and, tons of negotiations and, there's a lot of psychology in that too, and really since about 2010, what we have noticed is inventory it was shorted, right? Like people didn't want to sell, right? And so when there used to be 800 farms for sale on the market in January, that started dropping. And really from about 2012 up until probably 2 years ago, that dropped. It dropped from, 800 farms in January down to 200. So if you're a farmer looking to buy, right, it's really tough to buy because nothing is available for sale. So, you have limited supply and all kinds of demand. Well, that drives the price up, right? And it propels it up. And really, that's kind of what I've seen here, and your chart is really showing that. What's interesting right now is that over the last couple of years, we are starting to see farmland inventory, farms for sale, increase. It's kind of moved from 200 farms in January to 300. And so that's really like a 50% increase. And it's not enough to slow down values because there's still tons of demand out there from buyers and they're still competing heavy for it. But it's a trend that I've noticed anyway. So, and then actually too, if you take a look at Farm Credit, they have this amazing metric. It's the land affordability index, right? And so they rank each province, based, affordability of land based on the amount of money that it can generate. And, Saskatchewan is actually in Western Canada, it has the highest affordability index, which means it is the most expensive to buy with just the proceeds from the land. So there's another metric that is saying that, okay, it's getting tougher and tougher to make farmland cash flow itself.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. When you mention that, is because I always hear how Saskatchewan farmland is cheaper than anywhere else in the world. But in affordability side,
in terms of affordability, it is jumped. And I mean, Farm Credit's got an amazing chart on that. Maybe we can show that, here as well. But 10 years ago, we were low. We were right. And because of that, the investors came this way. Investors aren't location specific, land specific. They are rate of return specific. They're looking for opportunities, right? And so they saw that as an opportunity, and it was an opportunity, right? Yeah. Fast forward to today, it's actually more expensive in Saskatchewan, marginally, than it is in Alberta and Manitoba. So
that's interesting. Yeah, that's that narrative isn't well known, I don't think, or well spoken about. So it's interesting to hear that.
No. Well, anybody looking to buy land, they buy it, but they're thinking this, right?
Yeah.
And usually our advice to people is, it's never been higher. It's never been more expensive in terms of affordability. But if it's strategic to you and you're looking 20, 30, 40 years down the road, then do it, right? Just look for ways to mitigate your risk while you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and in my experience, I've always felt farmland has always exceeded always sold for a number greater than the financial feasibility of it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons why that is, and they all make sense to me.
Yeah.
As a farmer.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, for 40 years, I've been hearing land will never pay for itself, but somehow it does.
Yeah.
So, but I think there's that also real asset component to it, right? Which is, sure, it's farmland and there's cash flow, but it's also a hedge against inflation. It's, X amount of barrels of oil. It's how many gold coins, right? There is a store of wealth in it. And sure, farmers use it to produce, but it's also there to kind of store wealth as well.
Yeah, and I know of very few assets that are easy to borrow against.
Yeah.
And it's a low maintenance asset. There's no roof to put on. There's no grass to cut. There's no toilet to replace. And
So if you were, you got a client on your newsletter kind of subscription list, and he asked you to pull up this chart, and he says, like, what do I do, Trent? If you look at this, what do you say? What do you say be aware of?
Well, I mean, I think we need to be aware of where we are in this chart. I mean, it's again, my sell signal on this chart is not triggered, but I mean, if this was,
but you're approaching it, is that right?
Well,
potentially,
it's like a 5% drop triggers it. So I really want to be aware of, we're at that trend line. If I believe technical analysis, which I do, we, this is an area of a level of interest, Rick. I want to be, would I be, like myself, I wouldn't be buying at this level.
Yeah.
My risk might be higher. My risk might be lower buying it above this level. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
But right now it's okay. I want to be cautious here. I want to see how the price reacts to this level and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like purely speculating, let's say it does kind of drop 5% and then it starts to drop, a little bit more. Like how sticky is it kind of coming down? Like, what would you anticipate?